Space. The final frontier. Okay, that was just me being stupid. This video, I must mention, I said earlier that everything I say might be entirely wrong. This video is an example. I might be entirely wrong at everything I say. I read a book last year, it was just this spring. In my physics class, we had to read a book, and it's not a novel, I'm not sure it was classified as, I'm terrible at that, called Einstein's Cosmos, by a guy who I'm gonna have a hard time pronouncing his name, it's not even long, it's Michio Kaku? Okay, he's a physicist. I'll put in the description how to spell his name, because I have no idea how to say it. I suck at pronunciation. I suck at reading, actually. But anyway, I found this book was like, oh my gosh, so interesting. Funny thing is, a little bit later, I saw an Einstein plushie in the store, and I totally bought it. So I have this Einstein plushie with me right now. I might take a picture of it and make him the thingy that, because like this is a video, so there's going to be a picture. He might be the thingy for that. Anywho, oh, well, since I looked up the guy because I couldn't remember who was the author of that book, I have a little thing about him here. He is an American theoretical physicist at oh gosh, I'm not sure how to say that because whatever. He's at a college in New York. Anyway, I don't know much about him too much. Anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about. It was the book. Like, it's the first time I knew anything about Einstein ever. Like, I knew he was something with like the atomic bomb or something. He was around there in that time, and I knew like basically nothing. I just knew he was like E equals MC squared. That's Einstein. And he was like a genius and stuff. But I did have the background knowledge that he was like apparently dyslexic or something. I don't know. He was something. Like, something with reading. It was never exactly positive. Like I said I thought he was dyslexic. I could be entirely wrong about that. I don't know. Anyway, this book was like so interesting to me, beyond interesting. I suggest reading it to I suggest to anyone to read this book, Einstein Cosmos. It was so cool. And the intro, the first couple sentences, I couldn't find it anywhere right now. And I wasn't gonna go like forever digging for it, but I love description. This one sentence says, "Hair flaming in the wind, sockless." I thought that was hilarious, and it was just describing the physical features of Einstein. It was hilarious to me. I'm not sure if it was supposed to be or not. I just thought it was hilarious. Anyway, that book, dude, was like mind blowing to me. It was just like so cool. And it made me feel really stupid too, me trying to think about the stuff in the book. And I started to make a video talking about what I thought about things. Of course, like I said, I could be entirely wrong about everything I thought, or tried to understand, because there's a lot of times I just stop and I'm like, wait a second, I didn't get that, I have to reread it. Like the cat in a box, whether it was alive or dead, couldn't even follow that, had no idea what was going on. Might have been because I was rushing the book and I had to finish it by a certain date because we had a test on it. And I like didn't get a chance to reread that part. I just read through it once and just went through and I'm like, okay, I didn't get it, but whatever. That's one thing I didn't get, but there was some other stuff that was just like mind-blowingly, like this one thing, mind-blowingly simple and totally like, oh, that makes perfect sense, but I never thought of it that way. He was, it said Einstein was like in a car driving and he was passing like a clock thing. I don't know, I was picturing Big Ben. Like a clock like that, but probably not as big. I have no idea what clock it was, but whatever, it was a clock, and it was looking at it, it's huge, and you can imagine, if you're staring at it, and you start flying backwards at the speed of light, the clock hands would appear to not be moving. Well, no, duh, of course, because you're moving with the image of light, so, duh, of course it won't be moving. It was like so astonishingly simple and obvious, but I never thought about it like that, and it was like amazing sounding to me. I don't know why. I just thought it was so cool. And that was one thing. Then there was there was a purpose like that. He was trying to understand light, and it's said to be the top speed. Then the speed of light. Nothing can ever go faster than the speed of light. I'm trying to stay grounded here because I'm thinking of everything I thought of at once, and it's making it hard to talk. But that was mind-blowing to me. So, speed of light, and he kept picturing racing along with a light beam. I don't know why, but I pictured a cop car racing along with it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if it's something they said, or if it's just me picturing it. For some reason, I'm picturing a cop. I don't know why I'm picturing a cop car, but anyway, cop car racing with the speed of light. But no matter what happened, the light speed just kept always getting farther and farther ahead of it, no matter how fast or how much faster you're going. You know, like you think at a point you'd reach a speed where you're in sync with the light, and the displacement between the two should remain equal or decrease if you're going faster than light. Even if you're going at the same speed of light, yeah, and it always appeared to be getting farther away at the same. It seemed to be getting farther ahead of the car at the same speed, regardless of what the speed of the car was going. You know, that could be entirely wrong right there, because that doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. You know, maybe like I said, I didn't really understand it, but anyway, I thought it was really cool and interesting. Let's move on to another part of it. There were the black holes. That had to do with the speed of light. You see, as far as I understood, that the black hole, to break orbit from any planet or whatever ball of whatever's in space, there's, you know, the escape velocity. The idea behind a black hole, I think, was that the escape velocity was greater than the speed of light. So light couldn't even escape it. Hence, it's not light, and it's actually completely invisible. I forgot to mention a black hole is a star. It's a star which the escape velocity is faster than the speed of light, so it's completely invisible. I could be entirely wrong. So just note that. That's what I understood them to be saying. You should read the book for yourself. Anyway, I'm going to continue talking because it's fun. And whatever nonsense and blah blah blah. The thought of that was also, back to the light beam. See, I'm jumping around and forgetting things. The reason that this light, because I am starting to not remember exactly that light beam height keeps going away from the car, was to do with time, because the faster you go, the slower time progresses. The slower time progresses. I believe they've actually tested this, like, they put you have two clocks and they're synchronized. One sits on the ground at, like, some station and whatnot, and then the other goes on one of those planes that go faster than the speed of sound. There's something with sonic, and I don't remember what they're called exactly, but they're going faster than the speed of sound, so that's pretty dang fast. And when they landed, that clock was behind. The one that was on the plane fell behind the one that was sitting on ground. You see, they were going at a faster velocity, so time slowed down. There was something about that with Venus, where they couldn't do the math right because they assumed that time was equal and the math wasn't working out. I don't know the specifics. I don't think they explained the specifics, but no, it was someone who was lecturing. No, I think it was my teacher telling me about it, so he wouldn't go into the specifics. It was a quick mention. Not as quick as what I might mention, but whatever. That time slows down as you're going faster. And that made sense why you couldn't go as fast as the speed of light, because then that could be, like you're picturing a graph going along an asymptote. If you hit the speed of light, speed of time, that even makes sense, speed of time, I'm not sure that's a proper term, whatever, would be 0. So time would stop if you're going that fast, which wouldn't make any sense at all. So I guess that's impossible. There was the reason it's actually found to be impossible is because of mass. Something with energy. Energy is something I don't understand. I'll get back to that because there's a few other things I want to mention before I was bewildered by energy and had the strangest thing. And I'll explain later. So that was basically, I want to say that, time slows down as you're going faster. But that also, does that mean if you suddenly become completely motionless, that time would accelerate to infinity? Does that even make any sense? Again, I must continuously mention I could be entirely wrong, so if some actual physicist somehow stumbles upon this and says everything's wrong, I would love it if you direct me to like a website or something and teach me about it properly, because most of this is just my guesswork of what I understood from this one little book. I could be entirely wrong about everything, and I'm afraid of that, and I'm afraid someone's gonna be like, you're wrong about everything. But I'm trying to say I think I am wrong about everything. So, yes. I'm just gonna go and explain exactly what I thought, even if it's entirely wrong. Like, if you suddenly reach time if you're not moving, time reaches infinity, you decay into, it's like you disappear then. I don't know, it felt like if you stopped moving entirely, you would just disappear, which made me think of something else I heard somewhere, can't remember where, so that could mean it's entirely wrong, because I can't remember where I heard it, that the sun, that all stars revolve around, like all normal stars, I don't know what they're properly called, I'm just gonna like, our star, stars like our star, revolve around black holes. Okay, so they're not motionless, that makes sense, because I'm confused that motionlessness is confusing me. That means the black hole is motionless, maybe? Not moving? No. Well, probably is, but if it isn't, the way I thought, there's that thing where I said time was going on non-stop. So what would you do? You would... If time was stopped, you would, you'd disappear, you wouldn't... But you're invisible, right? So that's, like, interesting. Maybe that's why they're invisible? I don't know. I know nothing. Another interesting thing that was in that book. The twins on the rocket. That's a common idea. Common is the cat in the box thing. The two twins in the rocket. You have, one twin, he's gonna just chill out on Earth and just hang about. And then the other twin's gonna hop in his little rocket and go, whoo, blast off. Fly around the world, for a couple of years, come back. He's younger than his twin because he was moving faster the whole time. He was accelerating was what it was. He's just moving, accelerating around and going around and moving all about. And his brother's not moving as much. So the twin that was out, the rocket twin, the one that was flying about, thinks only, I'm using random numbers, I don't know the specifics. Let's say he thinks he was only flying about for like 20 years, while the other twin was on Earth for 50 years. So there's a 30-year gap all of a sudden. Actually, I think that could happen. It all depends on what speed the rocket was going. So that was an interesting one. Or another cool one was both twins go flying off in rockets in the opposite direction, and they got those, like, some kind of super telescope thing, and they're watching each other. Now, they're going slower than light, but the cool thing would be happening was, let's say we have one twin, I'm going to name him Bob, and his brother's name is Tom. So Bob is watching Tom over the years as they're flying apart from each other, and he's watching these super telescopes, as they're both moving at the same speed away from each other. I'd say same acceleration, same speed, or whatever. I'm not sure if it's acceleration or speed. Like I said, I know nothing. But they're moving apart from each other. That means they're aging exactly identical. But because of light, they're moving apart, they're going to become a few light years apart. Bob is looking over at Tom, and Tom's like 10 years younger than him. But that's because of the delay of seeing light. They're 10 light years apart. They'll actually die while, let's say, their wives came with them or whatnot, can look and still see the other one alive. Let's say they died at the same time. I don't know. Both died of old age at the same time. They're like that identical of twins and whatnot. The wife can see the other one still alive when he's already dead. Like, really young still, too. Like, 10 years young or something. That was cool. Oh, that was something where they would try to see the birth of the universe by looking farther away. Because they'll see delayed light by looking farther and farther away. They can even possibly see billions of light years away. They'd see billions and billions of light years into the past. That's freaking cool and amazing. What was the other idea? Oh yeah, the anti-gravity thing didn't quite make so much sense, but Or does that make it the parallelist? Parallelist? The most parallel universe is the anti-gravity one? I don't know. I didn't quite understand it at all. That was a pretty cool thing. There's something else I want to mention, but I can't remember. This is what I'm saying. All this stuff was like mind-blowingly cool, and I was like, oh my god, so cool, but I can't understand any of it. It was just stupid. This idea I came up with. But first I have to explain, dark matter. I don't know crap about it. Not a lie, because I know some stuff, but not really much at all. The dark matter, dark energy, well, you see what's happening. Everyone's heard of the Big Bang. That it was this giant explosion that caused all the matter to go apart, because, gravity would force all the matter to want to be in a little tiny ball. But some big ghastly explosion was the start of this energy that flew everything in opposite directions, and orbit is what happens when the original force of that blast and then the force of gravity pulling towards it are against each other, and you're just stuck in orbit for, some billions of years or something. I think that's what it is. I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be totally wrong. I could be completely and entirely wrong. Anywho, that's what I think it is. But that would mean, what would you think? That the expansion of everything moving apart from the explosion should be decreasing. Because of gravity, it should be decreasing and everything should be coming back together. That's an idea of the Big Bang, that everything's going to fall back together into each other. But the universe, there's been evidence found that the universe is continuing to expand, accelerating, it's doing it faster, and they called that dark energy or dark matter. I'm not really sure why both or what's the difference and whatnot, but it made me think of, I was just thinking of potholes. I saw a funny post, by the way. There was this plane that went missing, and they said, there was a post that said, missing plane found in Chicago pothole. I thought it was hilarious, because Chicago is known for having huge potholes and whatnot. Love to see that. I'll try and drive on that. That'd be horrible. I hate driving. Anyway, that was just a joke. What causes potholes is water getting in there and freezing. And what happens with when water freezes, its volume increases. It gets bigger, and that's what causes the cement and tar and whatever the street's made of to crack and cause big holes. Because a little bit of water falls into a crack, freezes, expands, makes the crack bigger, and you end up getting big holes, potholes. And that's what it reminded me the universe is like. Because the universe, it's getting colder. So it's like this thing is inside of it is getting colder, so it's expanding. I don't know, that's what I thought of. Perhaps there's actually something out there based on that, That there's already a theory like that about that, I don't know. That's just what I thought of. Funny story. So, I hate social studies, and I took AP government, and what happened, well, I didn't know crap about the essays, and I gave up. So I just read about all the stuff I'm saying right now. I just wrote it down in the essays, and I literally said, I give up on government, I don't understand it, and I'm just writing all this. It was hilarious. To me, at least. Gosh, if I get a 2 when I get my score in July, that'll be hilarious. If I actually manage a 2. Of course, that still means nothing. You need a 3 to count as anything. For anyone who knows how the AP tests work and whatnot. So back where I was about dark matter and energy, that's what I thought of this pothole thing, of it increasing. Of course, I know nothing, that's just what I thought of. Oh, there was a religious parallel I thought of a long time ago. By that I mean like a year ago. Because there was before I heard, well, there's either two things happening. Either the Big Bang just happens once and everything's going to expand into nothingness, or the Big Bang happened, we already know that, I think, based on that dark energy thing, this one's false, that the world's going to expand and then implode on itself and explode and expand and implode on itself and just repeat itself over and over and over and over again. For some reason, I drew the parallel of the explosion and expanding forever into nothingness, and nothing ever repeating and just continuously kind of being different. I drew the parallel to being like the I can't think of the collective term, but it's Christianity, Judaism, and Muslim all put together. The ones that believe that you live once, and when you die, you enter somewhere, and that's it. There's just one go. That's what the universe would be. In the continually expanding, and then the Big Bang repeating itself is like Hinduism and Buddhism, that you get reincarnated and go over and over again, but there's an eventual end. That's not really in the Big Bang, but it's, I don't know, that was just an analogy I drew. It reminded me of that. So that's what I thought of with that. So anyway, read this book, was awesome. Einstein Cosmos by that dude, I don't know how to say his name. Michio Kaku. I don't know how to read. I thought it was an awesome book, and it was like mind-blowing stuff to me. I'm not very intelligent. I tried to watch stuff more about this, I don't know, quantum and space-time. Those are the words that are like Google search trigger to me. I didn't get most of it. I just thought it'd be super cool. Super cool thing to think about. And that was my topic for now. Again, about these little podcast things that I'm making. Hopefully I'm getting better, because I feel like this one went much better than the other two. I sounded less nervous, and I sounded kind of like laughy and stuff like that. So, I think these 3 will be my starter. And maybe I'll get a little feedback, and then maybe I'll make more. Problem being, though, is I have to make them when no one else is around the house, because everyone will think I'm weird, and my parents will be like, why are you making YouTube videos? It's a horrible thing to do. But they don't actually talk like that. That was just a weird voice I made. This is my... yeah. Tell me what you think. Be polite. How about that? That'd be fun. Anyway, hopefully this goes somewhere. Hopefully it's fun. Hopefully you enjoyed this little random talky thing. Hopefully you made it to this episode, because I think this is episode whatever. Hopefully you made it to this one, because this one was probably cooler than the other ones. I hope this goes... okay, whatever, I'm done. And I don't know how to end it. Like this, I hate writing conclusions for essays. I suck at that. So, this is the end. Feedback, advice, kindness. Kindness is always lovely. Thanks for listening. Goodbye.